much pressure is on the Indians tonight, Sean?
I think there's a lot of pressure because it's at 3-2. It's at 3-2. They got to face Arrieta. You don't really want to go to a game 7 being up 3-1. So I think there's some decent amount of pressure. It's home now, and out here in Cleveland, man, this place is they're rocking too. Everyone talks about Chicago and Wrigley was rocking, and all the history there. But there's a lot of history here too. Of it's a big drop for the Indians, and this city's excited that Game 6 is here in Cleveland. They can clinch it here at home.
What kind of weather are we expecting tonight?
It looks like it's going to be like 73 and sunny. I might be sunbathing in the stands.
Nice. I like that. Sean will
It's going to be nice.
Sean will be part of MLB Network's live coverage from Cleveland. That starts at 3 today, immediately following the conclusion of tonight's game as well. The pitching matchup, Arrieta seemed to struggle at the end of the year, and I thought he kind of got out of jams the last time around. What do you expect with this pitching matchup tonight?
Well, it was a lot colder in Game 2 here in Cleveland, and I feel like when you watch Arrieta when you watched him in Game 2, he was effectively wild. I think he had a no hit for 5 or
yeah.
So I mean, he was effectively wild. Got in some trouble, a couple walks here and there, but was able to pitch out of it. I mean, he still has great stuff. I mean, if you go back and look at the game too, he missed with a couple pitches that just the Indians fouled back or whatever, just because he has good late movement in the zone. So you expect him to do better tonight. He didn't have a great feel on his pitches because it was cold out, and I think with the weather being really good tonight, he'll probably have a better feel.
When Chapman was on the mound the other night, that's where you can almost see fear in a batter's eyes, or at least the helplessness. Do you remember that feeling at the plate where there was just one pitcher where you went, I just have no chance here?
I never felt like I had no chance, but, you know what? I did feel like I had no chance. I think the first time I faced Randy Johnson was kind of that Chapman feeling, like, wow, that's different. You know what I mean? Like, that's 100 with a not 2-mile-an-hour slider. Like, I think when I first got up to the big leagues, that was the first time I was like, that's different, And when I look at Chapman, I think of that, Randy Johnson, just a guy that's a big lefty, has that downward tilt because he's so big. He's real lanky, and whenever you face a guy like that, I think one thing though about Chapman though, if I ever did face him, he's got that straight 4-seam fastball. So as a hitter, these guys are big league hitters too, and I think eventually the more you see that the fastball, the more you can. It's tough to get on 102, 103. But I'm saying you do have a chance after you see him a few times. That's why I always think, man, if you can get Chapman early in that first or second pitch, because you really don't want to get to that slider, and he's starting to throw it more. So, he dominated the other night. That was he rolled right through that, and it was smart by Madden to bring him in for 8 outs.
How long have you known Terry Francona?
Oh man, I've known Tito a long time. Back to when I first broke into the big leagues when he was with the Phillies, and Brad Mills too was his bench coach then, and then playing for him in 2008. We always had a mutual admiration for each other just because we're both from Pittsburgh growing up, and then I played with him in 2008, and he's one of a kind, absolutely one of a kind, personality in the game.
What's your favorite story?
You know what? He's just a funny dude. And in 2008, when I was with Boston, when you hit the ball off the monster, sometimes you don't know, like, if you can make it to second or not. And for me, it was always an adventure. So, I hit one to left center one time, and I'm going to second, and I get thrown out from the monster, right? So I'm like, it's not that big a deal. Like, left field, the guy got me at second, no big deal. And then, so my next at-bat, I hit a missile in the right center gap, right? And not to left center, right center, bullet in the gap. It ends up hitting the top of the fence. So I'm like, I thought it was a homer, but I wasn't like pimping it or anything. I was still running, decent. For me, decent, like not good, slow. So I'm rounding first. I'm like, that's a homer. Hits the top of the fence, and Nick Markakis goes into the gap for the Orioles, and he barehands it off the wall. Like, so it bounces back to me, barehands it off the wall, comes in throwing, and I'm just like, going as quick as I can. I'm like, oh my gosh, I get thrown out from right center right here. So I slide in. I'm out by like 10 feet. Like it was really bad. and the crowd's booing me, and I'm like, oh man, this is not good. So I get in the dugout. I'm like, that's ridiculous. I got thrown out right there. So I go to put my helmet away, and Tito's like, hey Case, can I talk to you real quick? And I'm like, yeah man, what's up? He's like, listen. He's like, I think you might want to check some out. I don't know. Do you think you might have polio? And I was like, you know what? I didn't never thought that, but maybe I might need to check that out because I've never done that. I've never been thrown out from right center before, you know?
Haven't you been thrown out from every position?
Yeah, that was my goal. My goal when I was in the big leagues was, you know, when I got thrown out from left in 2006, when I was with the Red Sox in 08, I knew it was my last year, so I said, if I could just get thrown out from right center at Fenway, then it'll run the gamut. So.
Who wins tonight?
I think we're going 7. I really do. I think we're going 7. I just, you know, it's been that back and forth series. I think Arrieta comes out tonight and pitches well, and you know, I think Tom is going to pitch well too. But I think the Cubs are going to find a way to win it and get it to 7 games. Oh,
we're watching the video when you got thrown out from left field. Oh, I hate bringing it up to. No, I love bringing it up to you.
You love it. You don't hate it, Dan. You love it.
So you stop. You get thrown out from left field at first base, but you stopped.
Oh yeah. I mean, if you get thrown out straight left by hitting it to left and then run, you have problems. You have real problems.
Yes.
But I did stop. I thought Joe Creedy caught it. And I was like, all right, I'm out. And so I walk off. I started to walk off. Crowd starts to erupt. And I'm like, oh, my God. Pablo Ozuna's picking it up and left. So I just start. And literally, I put my helmet back on like any smart person would do. And then I just start ice skating. I like to look at the replay like it was like I was ice skating in quicksand. I was like, oh, my God, I can't get out of the quicksand. And I have the worst running tech. I can't get my legs won't move. It was like when you were in a dream. Yeah. And you're like, somebody's chasing you and like, I can't move. That's what I felt like.
But it's a bang-bang play at first base, though, Sean.
Oh, yeah, it was bang-bang. It was bang-bang. And I saw Ron Culpa at the umpire at spring training this year. And I sent him over a warm shot of Jameson. I said, hey, that's for calling me out from left. Thanks.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to have Paulie, my producer, send this to Major League Baseball. And I want them to review this on replay because I think you have a legitimate beef that you could at least say, look, I was safe, and replay showed that because this wasn't reviewed, and I think you may have beaten that throw. I think you may have, Sean.
Dan, I would really appreciate that. I'm not kidding. If you can get your guys to send that in.
Okay.
I always thought that too.
Paulie? Send that to MLB.
Yeah, they got nothing else going on tonight, so I figured this will be first priority.
This afternoon they can do it. They'll be busy tonight.
We're on it, boss.
Okay. All right, Sean, I'll see what I can do for you.
Oh, Dan, you're the best, man.
Thanks, buddy.
Okay, thanks, guys.
That's Sean Casey, Major League Baseball Network analyst. We loved his enthusiasm. When he'd come into the man cave, man, he would be all fired up, face all red.
He's the best.
He would just be telling stories, man. He would just say, and then Tito says to me, man, do you have polio?
He's a great baseball lingo guy, too. Or he hits a missile off a yacker and whatever else. This is great.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.